So my name is Mike Diamond, and I guess I'm the founder of ParanormalWarehouse.com. Well, I started when I was younger. I had my father passed away, and I guess in order to deal with that, I latched on to this kind of paranormal ghost stuff. And just growing up, I started researching more and more and more, and I just kind of became hooked after that experience. So, I started doing research by reading books. I read a lot of stuff from the Warrens. A lot of people know them. And I just kind of built upon that by reading. And then, a lot of people kind of talk down on the television shows, but they came on, and then it sparked in me like, wow, you can kind of scientifically research this and have evidence, and that really pumped me up to start doing it. And then just from the experience of meeting people, I knew I couldn't have the time to put into doing the investigations. Like some people go out on weekends and they do it every weekend. I don't have time to do that, so I wanted to participate somehow, so I decided to create this website to kind of bring that community together. So I usually have, when I investigate, I have a small team. It's just me and my buddies, they're into it also. And we kind of do a guerrilla style where we'll have a couple of cameras, a couple of pieces of equipment. We'll usually focus on a piece of equipment to do research with that day. So we don't have a hodgepodge of stuff. We're focused on one thing, and we can work on that. And we'll usually go in and just kind of do our thing and try to figure out what's going on. When we're looking for locations, it's usually whatever we could get, we'll do it. Because some places don't want you to go in there, some places do, some places are really expensive. So we're opportunistic. Whenever we could go to a place, we'll usually go there. And it's kind of random. We'll look up what people have experienced in that location and kind of base our research on that. So if they're getting a lot of, for example, voices, disembodied voices, we'll decide, all right, since this happens the most, let's focus on this, see if we can get this to reproduce with our findings. So we just kind of feel out, see what people did with their research, see what that place is known for, and then kind of focus on what the most prominent, anomaly that happens there. Most recently, I had the first experience where I actually saw a person affected by what was going on. Normally we'll catch voices, and the technology will provide the evidence, but just recently, I guess 6 months ago, we went to Gettysburg, and one of my friends, he's a very quiet guy. He's not a very emotional guy. He became very physically upset, and he was able to talk through the experience. Like, he knew that it was happening, and he couldn't control it. He had tears coming down. He was almost like hyperventilating, and he said that he felt an overwhelming feeling of sadness. And it was scary for me because that was the first time where someone was being personally affected, like physically. So it was an eye-opener to see that, it's not just these pieces of equipment that could be affected by whatever is going on. You could be affected too. So that was probably the most profound, just because it made it the most real. The word ghost hunting, I guess, I use it because people understand what that is. It's become a known thing. There's the show Ghost Hunters. So it's kind of like a phrase. I'm hesitant personally to say the word ghost because I don't know if this is a dead person. I don't know what's going on in this situation. It hasn't been scientifically proven, and that's what we're working towards. So for someone who's going into the field, first off, I would say find a couple of buddies. Don't go in there alone for obvious reasons. If you're going to go into a rundown house and you're going to fall through the floor, no one's going to know you're there. So have a group that you're going to go with. Don't just go on the internet and start buying equipment because people say to. I would say do your research, know how this stuff works, really research the theories, and instead of being all over the place, kind of pick something that you really like. Like, I like electronic voice phenomenon kind of stuff. I like using digital recorders. I think that's fascinating. Someone might think that something else is more cool, but I think if you specialize on something, you could really focus on it, and you'll get better evidence because you're using it over and over and over again, and you become accustomed. And I think that's the best way to do it. And then you could share your evidence with someone who does something different, and then maybe you could learn off of that kind of situation. So for anyone starting, just do your research. Don't sneak into a place and get arrested. Know your equipment, have a couple of buddies, and then do your thing. And it's just practice like anything else. And just be cautious. If you feel weird, don't be afraid to exit. Go outside, take a break. So that's really it. We have a website called paranormalwarehouse.com, and we wanted to kind of create a social networking hub for people that were into the paranormal, ghosts, to talk to each other. If you're in New York, you're never going to see a person's evidence that's in California just because of distance. So I created it so that people could share, be open, share theories, and even just talk about their experiences. There's a lot of people out there that are afraid to talk about their experiences, but this is, it's kind of a safe place to open up and talk about these types of things.